Okay, so guys, for this assignment, we're gonna have different materials than we normally do. This is going to be a tracing assignment. And tracing is just taking whatever object you have, whether it be a cutout for paper, a Lego block, the cap to a soda bottle, whatever it is. If you're also just using different objects to get a specific shape without actually having to draw it, this is going to be good for you guys. So watch this. You guys, most of you guys are going to have this little cardboard cutout, a piece of paper, and a pencil with an eraser. So this is a tracing assignment. All I want you guys to do is focus on tracing. After we trace the objects, then we're going to get into the coloring assignments. So no matter the shape of your cutout that you're going to trace, what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 fingers, if you can fit 2 fingers, put 2 fingers down on this. You're going to hold this completely still. This does not move. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil. You're not going to take your pencil like if you're writing and put it at an angle. What you're going to do is put your pencil straight up. Okay, you're going to put your pencil against the cardboard cutout. You're going to hold it there as long as the line allows you to. And you're gonna go back and forth 1 or 2 times. Sometimes 1 time is just enough. I do 2 times just to get make sure I got the whole line as dark as I need it to be. And then you can pick it up and start at the corner again and do it again on that corner. If you go too fast, make sure you don't go too fast, because then you'll get those little streaks out because your pencil is pushing against your cardboard. And if it comes off the corner, it's gonna make marks that you don't want, okay? So if you need to move your fingers, make sure that cardboard cutout does not move, whatever shape you're using, whether it's cardboard, thicker paper, or some type of hard material, plastic or metal. You do the same thing. You're gonna go all the way to the corner. I do 1 more time. If you need to move your fingers again, do that, and try to do it without moving your object that you're tracing. There we go. You're done tracing, so now all you got to do is move your object, and you have the exact same shape as what your object is. Since I don't want that line, I'm going to go ahead and erase that. That's why we have erasers, just take care of the little mistakes that we have on our artwork. Okay, so if I wanted to do another one, I could do another one. Now, I'm going to show you, say, overlapping. I want this shape to look like it's behind this. I don't want it to go over it, so I'm not going to do this line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, same thing, hold your pencil against your cardboard. If you're not holding it against your cardboard, you're going to get a shape that doesn't look like what you have. See, I've rounded that corner, but I stopped on the line that's coming to my edge of my cardboard. I did not go past it. Same thing, I'm going to start on this line. Okay, and then I'm around that corner. I'm gonna have to move my finger. So I'm gonna start on this side just because I can't get to this side yet. And since I'm already here, I don't wanna move my fingers more than I need to. So I'm gonna go back over to this side. Okay, again, take your time when you're hitting those corners. When you hit those corners, if you don't take your time, you might get some unwanted lines on your paper because your pencil falls off of your object that you're tracing. Okay, so I've traced that. The only part that I did not trace is from this intersecting line and this intersecting line. I did not trace that piece of the cardboard. So when you take it off, it looks like this piece of paper or cardboard is on top of this one. Okay? Now, I'll show you a few more steps. I'm gonna show you what not to do. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use the back side of this paper because I don't wanna ruin what we're going to be working on here. So I'm gonna flip this over. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing you what not to do. Okay, if I'm taking my paper or my cardboard, let's flip it over here so it's just a little bit more easy to see. Okay, so if I have my cardboard, what I'm not doing is going fast. If I go fast, I'm going to have these unwanted lines. Still looks like a rectangle, but it has all these lines. I don't want that. Another thing I don't want you guys to do is sometimes I see students going like this, and they're trying to do it without actually pressing your pencil against the cardboard. If you do not press your pencil against the cardboard, you're not gonna get the shape that you're tracing. And it's just gonna look bad. It's gonna look sloppy. So one last time on what to do. So don't do this. Don't do that. Do this. Hold your fingers down, hold it tight, pencil as straight up as possible. Okay? You're pressing against. You're going slow around those corners because you don't want it to mess up. Okay? And if you need to move your fingers, which I actually don't in this case, just go around. That is what you want. Okay? So let's just do a couple more. I'm gonna go fast. You guys do your shapes wherever you would like. Originally I had mine like this. I'm just gonna transfer this over and just do a few more shapes. Also does not matter if you guys have one shape or multiple shapes like I have here. I can go ahead and take this and trace just like this. Remember, if I want it to look like it's going under this shape, I don't draw the line that is pressing against my new shape. It looks like that long one's going under there, okay? Maybe I have another one like this. Now, on longer shapes, you have to shift your hand a little bit without moving that object, because since if you're not gonna shift your hands, the front or back side that you're not holding on to might lift up. And if it lifts up, you're not gonna get the shape that you're looking for. Okay. Well, maybe I have a new shape, a really long one, but a long, a little bit wider than this long and skinny one. This is gonna be a little bit more tricky. And if you guys can't do the overlapping and underlapping shapes, don't worry about it. We don't have to do that. This is not mandatory. Oh, see? I just accidentally messed up, but the cool thing is I just wrote on my shape that I'm trying to trace, not my paper. That's okay. Don't oops, see, did it again. The reason why I'm doing this is because this is a little bit thinner paper, so it's a little harder to trace with, because if you press hard against your object that you're tracing, sometimes it moves and bends and just kind of tricks you while you're drawing your shape. Okay, let's see if this is the same shape. That is the same shape, so I don't really need that one. Let's do that long one more time, and I'll call this one done. Maybe this one is going here, and maybe it goes off the paper. So let's do one that's going off the paper, give it a little bit different of a look. Okay, so you see that little triangle part? I'm going under this shape. So I'm going under that shape. I don't want to draw that part, okay? And since I'm going under that shape, I don't want to draw this line. Stop wherever you see those lines. If not, you're gonna get these crossing lines that you don't want. I'll show you that on the other side. I'll show you what not to do when you're trying to cross over, okay? That goes off the paper. I go all the way off the paper, okay? Off the paper. That shows under. This is under. okay? And it goes off the paper, okay? Now, let me show you what I was just talking about. If I'm trying to go over this object, let me use a smaller one so you can see the full object. If I'm trying to go under this one, I'm going to start at that line. Kind of messed up that corner a little bit. I was trying to go a little bit fast so I don't waste too much of your time. That's why I always say to go slow. Even professional artists like myself mess up their drawings and make mistakes. That's okay. That's why we have erasers. Okay, so that's how you do it. What not to do, okay, is this. Say I want to go under this. I'm going to start up here so then I can move my hand and do the tracing how I should do it after moving one finger. Okay, so I'm going to move my hand. It's going to be a little awkward for me to show you guys on this camera, but I'm going to move my arm up here. I'm going to cross through, and I'll show you what happens when you cross all the way over. Like I tell you not to do. Don't do this if you're trying to get it under that shape. If you're trying to get it under that shape, now it looks like they're both transparent. Transparent means that they're see-through, and then you can see all the edges on all the pieces. I don't want that. So this is what you don't do, okay? Now, you can erase. This line's a little darker than this line, so if I erase this line, then it'll look like this one's under this one, which maybe you would like to do if it's too hard for you to overlap without skipping any of those lines. If it's easier for you to erase, that's okay. As you can see, you can still kind of see those lines because that's where your pencil pressed so hard. It's a little hard to erase deep in those grooves that your pencil makes, okay? Now, you're done with your shapes. I would like for you guys to do at least 5 different shapes, maybe 3 shapes if your paper's too small for 5 shapes. But if you do that, then we can get into our coloring, which is gonna be tracing, or I'm sorry, just coloring in the lines. Make sure that you guys do each object. Let's start off with red. I'll color in 1 or 2 shapes, and then I will cut the video so you guys can enjoy. Right, so if I wanted to do the shape on top, I'll start with this shape since it's a little smaller, okay? I'm going to go right against that edge, and I'm gonna just kind of create myself a border. If I kind of create myself a border, then I can follow my border and color inside those lines that I just created in red. Make sure you don't go outside. Take your time. Make sure you don't go outside the lines. Most of the materials that you color with are not erasable, so if you make a mistake, there's only one way to kind of go backwards, and that's just kind of to color over it if you can. And sometimes those colors change colors. Sometimes they kind of turn black or brown. Sometimes it works, but it's harder to correct something that you've colored than it is to correct something that you've drawn. But just because we made a little bit of mistake doesn't mean that we have to give up. Mistakes happen. I still make mistakes, and I've been doing this for a long time. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and start shading this in. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, but that is just basically how you color inside the lines. It's an easy way, easy method to help you out if you struggle with coloring inside the lines. Just kind of just drawing against your border. And go slow if you can't go too fast. If you can't go too fast, then don't worry about it. This is not a speed competition. This is a have fun, learn how to draw, learn how to color, and enjoy yourself. Make stuff that you've never made before, and just go from there. Once I get done with this little piece, I'm not going to color the middle just because I don't want to take up too much time, but I will show you guys the end result later on. Okay, so say if I colored that in, the whole thing is red. Okay, now if I would like to do a different color and I wanted to do, let's do the opposite of red, which on the color wheel is green. That's why Christmas is red and green. That's why brick walls look so good against fields of grass, backyard full of grass, because it's the opposite color. That means that it is a complementary color. Complementary means that it's on the opposite side of the color wheel. And if it's on the other side of the color wheel, that means that they go good together. And they just look good next to each other. That's why Christmas is usually decorated red and green. Okay, same idea. Now remember, if you're doing an object that is under, I'm not coloring through this red object. I'm doing the same thing that I did here. I'm just skipping over that part because I don't want to see this green part, because this green part is going to be under the red shape, the red rectangle. Okay, let me try to speed this up a little bit more. Once you do those borders, you are good to go. Now I'm using colored pencils. You might be using markers for this assignment. You might be using crayons for this assignment. You might be using colored pencils. You might be using paint. Depends on what the assignment entails for today. But tracing and coloring in the lines, all of them take up the same skill, work on the same objective. And that's what we're going for, okay? I'm almost going to be done with this video, just showing you how to create a border of color, excuse me. And then we can show you the end result in a picture or in person when I get to class. And we will be done. You guys start on your assignment, coloring it, and good luck.